Hey there, Angela Giles here from sunny San Diego. I'm having an incredible day today. How are you doing? I hope you're having a great day. I'm here to welcome you to day one of social media training. And today is where we're going to lay the foundation of what it takes to create this huge social buzz surrounding you and what you've branded yourself as. So there's four critical components that we're going to talk about today. The first is mindset. The second is content. The third is networking. And the fourth is branding. Now, let's keep this in mind that this is the foundation. We're going to talk in future videos, so don't worry about that, the nuts and bolts of social media and all the networks and things like that, like Twitter and Facebook and blogs, and how all of it fits together, and step by step how to put it together, and all the little secret strategies that top income earners and people that have huge social buzzes surrounding their brand, how they create those. But today is a must. We must develop these four essential areas before we can move forward. Otherwise, it's kind of like a house. You know, when you lay the concrete and you build upon it, if you don't have a strong foundation, your house will crumble. And that's the same thing here. You must have this foundation in order to begin. So this is the most critical video that you want to watch first. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is mindset. And this is huge. You have to have the right mindset in this type of environment. You have to have a mindset that's all about building relationships. Now you're thinking, well, what does building a relationship have to do with me making money online? Well, think about this. In the past year alone, hundreds, if not millions of people, thousands of millions of people have come online looking for a way to make extra money. Because out there in the real world, the JOB, just over broke world, so many people are getting laid off and they're like, what do I do? Where do I go? And so you'll find them on the internet. They'll think, oh, I've got my golden goose. I just have to create a web page and I'm going to make all this money and blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? If you've been out there, you know it doesn't quite work like that, and that you really, truly have to learn, and you have to develop the right mindset. And it's all about building relationships. And here's what I like to talk about. You need to become an attraction force versus like a can of repellent. Think about when if you go camping, for example, and there's mosquitoes around everywhere. Well, don't you usually carry a can of repellent, where you're spraying them and you're like all over yourself so that they stay away from you, or in your tent or in your camper or your trailer or whatever. You don't want to be like that. You don't want to be a repellent that is repelling people away from you, because if you repel people away from you, how are you going to be able to give information to people and be able to make sales? You're not. What you need to do is think about, how can I be attractive to other people? And I'm going to share with you how to do that. It's not hard to do, but what we want to talk about is building strategic relationships with other people. Now, this is huge. It's the same thought process as offline. When you're offline, and say that you go to Starbucks with even yourself, and you start chatting with someone that's sitting next to you just about the weather, or something you notice about them, or something you may notice about the person sitting across the way, and you just start a conversation. That's what it's all about. Is you're reaching out to others, you're networking with other people on the networks out there, your Facebook, your Twitter, your YouTube, things of that nature. You're just reaching out and establishing relationships. You're putting feelers out there. Here is the rule that I always say. It's a 90-10 rule. And I know you've already heard the 80-20 rule, where you spend 80% of your time with the 20% that are producing. And that's well and dandy, but I think that it even goes above and beyond that. And here's why. I think that if you're giving, and I found this in my own life and everybody that I have taught, if you're giving 90%, and I'll teach you what I mean about giving, but giving out there to people 90%, and only taking 10%, you'll get 100-fold back. I mean, it's huge, and it's magnetic. And I'll give you an offline example that you can sort of think about this and put it in your brain, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. For example, my best friend, Cecilia, we've been best friends for about 5 years now, almost 5 years. And what we do is we like to go out to breakfast to Denny's. I love Denny's, and we'll go there on Saturdays, not every Saturday, but quite a few Saturdays. And we'll start a conversation, and we talk about our week and what's going on. But here's how it works. For example, I may start talking, and I'll tell her, oh, this is going on, this great happened, this, was a struggle, but I did this, blah, blah, blah. And she'll interject pieces. She'll listen for a good chunk of time to me and interject little pieces. So she's giving her time to me, and I'm taking, because I'm like, blurting it all out. But then the roles reverse. After I'm done, talking about all my stuff and she interjects a little bit, then it's her turn. So it's kind of a give and take thing, back and forth, until we've, analyzed everything from this way and that. You know how women are. And we both feel great, and we go back to our daily lives, and we're, filled to the brim. The glass is half full, except for it's almost to the brim type of mentality, and it's great. And that's the kind of thing that I'm suggesting that you use out online. And it truly does work, because as you're giving, and we're going to talk about that next, which is content, you will find that it is huge that as you're giving to people and giving and giving and giving and building strategic relationships and sharing good, valuable information with people, and only taking a little bit, you'll start to see that people will actually be coming to you, and they'll come to you and say, well, hey, can I use your content, or can I use what you said and share that with my friends? And that, my friends, is awesome, because you created something of value to give to someone else, and then you have strangers coming out of the blue saying, hey, I really like that, I heard about you, or blah blah blah. That's what happens to me all the time now, and it's awesome. And I know that that's what happens to some other of my strategic business partners, or just friends that I have made online, just because they've taken the time to share and give to others. Now, when I talk about giving, I'm talking about content. Now, this is huge, 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 huge. Content is king. And you may be thinking, oh my gosh, well, what does she mean, content? And when I'm talking about content I'm talking about value-driven information that will enhance other people's lives. And when I say value-driven information, I'm talking about content that's specific to the area that you want to represent, or the niche that you want to get involved in. I mean, I'm going to use this as an example, and you may hear this a lot in my videos, because I just got a little dog, and I always call him a her, but his name is Sparky. And he's a 3-pound little Yorkie. He's 8 years old. He's hilarious. I love him to pieces. So I talk about dogs a lot. I want to give you this example. He wears an extra, extra small. And I went to Walmart the other day, and I was looking for an outfit, and I only found 2 outfits, and they were both orange, so I bought one, but I wanted more. So I went online and started looking, and guess what? I actually found someone on Facebook that was a friend that actually was an expert, if you will, and knew everything about dogs. And so she pointed me in the right direction to a great place that she had found on that specializes in small dogs. And so I was able to get some outfits for really cheap, for $1. And I was excited, yay! So that's what I'm saying. She was just someone that I had formed a strategic relationship with online, and she had information for me when I was just looking. And she made a little bit of money, I mean a few cents, but the point is that it worked well for both of us. So that's what I'm talking about, is that as you create, and we'll talk about content even more, but as you're building these strategic relationships, you want to create value-driven content for the people that are going to be your potential income, meaning like sales, your potential prospects, your potential leads. You want to be giving value-driven information. So what I'm talking about is when you are looking for content, what you want to do is set aside some time every single day that you're going to be working on your business, whether it's 15 minutes, a half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, and you start researching and understanding what other great content leaders out there are giving to people. Are they making great videos? Are they writing great inspirational true stories that they've heard or that have happened to them? Are they creating great marketing pieces? Are they just writing short articles? I mean, what are they doing? Start reading some personal growth, because I can guarantee you, as you grow personally, you're going to get more and more comfortable. Your brain will expand, and you'll get so much more wisdom. And if you combine that with learning about things in your niche, you will have so much that you will share. You will become a walking, talking, valuable asset out there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and stop the video here. I want to talk a little bit more about content in part 2 of day 1, social media training. We're going to stop the video here to just make it short. That way, for any of those that you have to run and come back, you can go to part 2. So I look forward to seeing you on part 2 here in a minute. Just click below, and if you love this training and want to continue, click below, but also tweet this link out to your friends. We want everyone to get this mindset and to truly get this social media training. Okay, God bless you. We'll talk to you in a minute.